Alright, let's get some lantern videos in. This one is against Jeskai control, like, I guess, mid-range? Or, well, no, I don't know what you would call it these days, but Jeskai. And I believe I go first. Yeah. Alright. I keep. Does my opponent keep? I don't remember. I mean, I'm pretty sure they would. But yeah, good hand for me. I got natural lock with bridge and the mana sources. Yeah, opponent keeps. So I play out the lantern first, not knowing what my opponent's on. So they're going to know about one bridge. They don't know about this bridge, though. And they can't really do anything about that. So I could play out a bridge here, but I didn't want to. I figure I'll go ahead and discard first. I know about the Queller. I can't move that down. So I go ahead and get rid of that. And opponent, I guess the opponent decided to go ahead and try to start getting some beats in. And they're planning on bouncing bridge. Yeah. And countering bridge. And they also plan on, I guess, using Cryptic to counter, bounce, snap, and so on and so forth. Because they know I'm about to draw the Inquisition, so I guess if I am able to Inquisition that snap out of their hand, that's no good for them. So I go ahead and try to get rid of that Snapcaster and see what to discard. And the only target is that Logic Knot. I'll try to keep this open so that we can remember what I know what they have in hand. Well, I guess I know everything because I have the lantern out too. So I know that, let's see. Yeah. Go ahead and run out bridge, let them counter it. So still, they don't know about this bridge or this whir. And again, trying to get rid of Spell Queller. I do that so that they can't counter and then draw into Spell Queller. Yeah, so they counter and bounce snap in order, just in case I have another bridge, which I do. And Collective Brutality will not be able to discard Snapcaster. So they're kind of given a choice here to attack, but then that leaves them open to me resolving bridge. It's a really tough situation. They don't really have a good choice here. If they attack, then I can resolve bridge and I'm good to go. And then they're stuck with trying to do Snapcaster, flashback, cryptic, bounce bridge. But that only bounces it for one turn. Doesn't really help them a whole heck of a lot. And then at max they can deal what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 damage, put me at 4. But then after that I have the lock. So yeah, go ahead and mill. Also mill that Helix, and yeah, because I know that this thing is not worth anything. I know their hand, and I know that the brutality is not going to do anything for me. So I decided not to play bridge here, I believe. Yeah. Now I'm luring out the counter. And I figure if they don't counter it, then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to bring in Grafdigger's Cage. And if they do counter, then I can just draw the fair, and I'm still good. I'll just, resolve bridge. And then the fair will help me stay alive against the burn. Yep, bouncing snap. So Now I can untap and I can play bridge. Now, fortunately, my next card is an Inquisition, so that means they can't try to hold Snapcaster for another Cryptic. And Inventor's Fair is going to keep me alive against all that burn. Flash in the Snap, bolt me, and there goes a Spell Snare, which does nothing to me. Yeah, now I got a 2 rock lock and I'm gaining life. Yeah, and I do X equals 4, but what I'm looking for here actually is a Grafdigger's Cage, so that they can't try to, do the whole bounce Snapcaster thing going on. I have a 2 rock lock, so really the only thing that they got going for them is if they can get more Cryptics, but I can mill all of those. So, opponent concedes. Game 2. I brought in 2 Scylla Primordium. I took out all of my Brutalities, brought in all of my Thoughtseize, and I took out Engineered Explosives, and I can't remember everything else. So yeah, I keep this hand. It's kind of sketchy because it's a 1-land hand. Oh yeah, I took out 1 Mox Opal because I'm on the draw here. So having multiple opals isn't really going to help me a whole heck of a lot. And I can more likely just draw into mana anyways. This is, again, what like I said, kind of risky because it is a 1-land hand, but I feel kind of good with it. Yeah. And I resolved that first before this, just in case they have some sort of counter for this, and then I wouldn't be able to tap it for colored mana. And I don't want them to be able to see that line of play. Of course, that line of play doesn't matter, but so here I decide to go for the Queller, if I remember correctly. Because oh no, I guess not. I go for the negate. I thought I went for the Queller, but I guess because I have the Abrupt Decay for the Queller. Yeah, I play this instead of the Bell because I'm afraid my opponent might top deck some sort of artifact destruction, in which case that wipes my Glimmer Void, which I need. So I don't know about the second Queller. And so these are the cards I know about. Again, I don't play the Glimmer Void, I play the Fair. And I know my opponent's going to do Queller here, so... Okay, so Stirrings. I believe I grabbed an Opal. Yeah. The other ones are Witchbane Orb, Inquisition, Opal, and Botanical Sanctum. But yeah, I want this so I can start gaining life with the Fair, and because it helps me tap for that second mana for the Decay without losing life. So I wait for them to bolt me because I know that Queller is the only way they have to stop Abrupt Decay. So I wait, when they bolt me, that's when I decide to decay this Queller to get my bridge into play. They do draw that Abrade though, and now I can start gaining life, and they don't really have much of a threat. They have to hold this Queller. Yeah, so that's unfortunate. Now they do Abrade in response to this jar, and that means they don't have the mana to cast Queller to stop my bridge. So again, I'm doing well. I start using this to try to dig into the Lantern Lock as quick as I can, because I notice they're stuck on 3 lands here. I don't want them to be able to Cryptic my bridge and then counter it when I try to bring it back down. So I'm trying to dig to a Lantern here. I'm fortunate enough, I do see a Lantern on top, so I don't mill. And then I draw a cage. So I try to lure out the counter with the cage. And it works. And then I go for the lantern. So again, I believe I let my opponent draw this Snapcaster. I guess not. Because I know I don't want them to be able to draw another land if I can help it. Yeah. I was thinking about milling here, but I know they don't have a fourth land. So what I'm trying to do is, if I can, keep them off that fourth land and get into a discard spell. Although I do figure that they probably have a counter for that discard spell. So, milling that land. Hoping to be able to store into a mill rock, which I do, I believe, get a shredder. And I go to cast a shredder, and that's when they counter it. I'm like, oh crap. So they do this immediately before I can stop them from drawing that plains. So now they've got cryptic. Oh yeah, this is gone. So I know, yeah, I know everything here. Okay. So I do not want this seal, and I really want a discard spell here. So I believe I milled myself during my upkeep. And it, I mean, it doesn't get me much. I just get a bell. So now the plan that I'm thinking is my opponent is looking to bounce my bridge, and then when I try to replay bridge, snap counter it. But with the damage that they have, like I'm still gaining a pretty good amount of life. So it's going to be difficult for them to be able to do that on the, like keep a clock going while I'm controlling draws as well, and I'm about to draw a whir. So I know they have the Dispel, so what I'm looking for here is to kind of play around it. Yep. I was thinking about whirring here, but I know they have the Dispel. Milling. Now this is good because that means that I'll be able to put the other bridge back on top. I try to do some interesting things here. So they fetch, and I didn't actually think this through. What I'm thinking here is if I do this, if I were with the fetch on the stack, they can only play one or the other, Dispel or Cryptic. What I don't realize is they can just Dispel my whir, get the island, and then play Cryptic anyways. Yeah. So they counterbalance, which is even better, actually. So it's bad for me. But again, their clock isn't fast enough. I'm going to be able to bridge on top. So what they should have done was dispelled and then, well, I guess they don't really have a good choice here. Yeah, they don't. I mean, I guess, no, because they can't. Yeah, they don't really have a good choice here. So I take some damage, but I'm controlling draws, and I end up milling myself into a second bridge, and there's just no way out of it here. Bridge, bridge, gain life. Doing well. And I put a shredder back on top, and that's it. Being pinged. So opponent says that they made some mistakes. I didn't see them, so yeah, I was like, hey, you played good, and they're like, no, they made some mistakes. So I told them they're better than me because I didn't see them. But it was a very, very good game. I enjoy those games. Lots of little intricate interactions going on.